Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427's to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Hey folks, I'm gonna be coming to Geek Art Confluence this year, taking place at the Goldstein Auditorium in the Shine Student Center at Syracuse University up in Syracuse, New York on Sunday, April 19th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm gonna be there all day and I'll not only be judging the cosplay dance contest at 3 p.m. at the main stage alongside Erica Murphy, but I'm also gonna be cosplaying as my OC, which is the cross-dressing ballerina boy himself, Elliot Fujiano, aka Melody. More information and details can be found at geekartconfluence.com for you to check out, and if you see me there, then by all means come on up to me and say hi. Hope to see you there. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and, well, I guess you somehow noticed I've officially brought back my Mario hag this time around. Yeah, I think it makes sense for me to bring this back for sure because, yeah, I think it will get you the idea, of course, what we're going to be in for today's thoughts video for sure. So yeah, anyways, stepping all that aside, I hope all of you guys have had a really great Easter Sunday this year for sure, and yeah, I hope all of you guys have garnered up as many pretty much Easter eggs as you can, enjoying some nice chocolate for sure, and that's just to name you a few, so yeah, and for me personally, I know I wish I could have done a lot of stuff hands down, to which, yeah, I think come to think of it, I mean, I guess since I know I'm excited for Geek Art Confluence that's coming up in less than a couple of weeks, I wish I was over in Boston for Anime Boston for sure beforehand. But hey, I'm sure I'll get some things figured out on that, so yeah, but either way, I guess, for a while, I guess that's not the case, pretty much on that front, for sure. I guess, pretty much if anything, I'll just do what I do normally, pretty much, whenever I, do one of these, thoughts videos, for sure, and that be, of course, well, actually, check out the latest movie that has just hit the, big screen not too long ago, so yeah, I guess that's pretty much, my way to, pretty much keep things occupied for sure, and, well, surprisingly enough, given to, of course, my Mario hat that I have on this time around, yes, folks, I think it is time, once again, that we actually return to a well-known video game company that I, alongside everyone else, love and admire for sure, Nintendo, so yeah, I guess it looks like we're in for a little something from Nintendo once again, for sure. And I guess since it has been about a couple of years since after I talked about a film from them for sure, I think it's time that we pretty much jump from, of course, what we got from Sony Pictures Animation to Pixar, all the way to another animation studio for sure, that being, of course, Illumination. So yeah, I guess it has been about 2 years since after I talked about the last film from Illumination for sure, so been a long time coming, I'm not gonna lie, so So yeah, so I guess I give it to pretty much me talking about a little something from Nintendo and Illumination for sure. That will get the idea. Yeah, that will get you guys the idea, of course, what we're going to be talking about for today's Thoughts video for sure. Yeah, even I'm actually anticipating the hag for quite some time now for sure. So I think it's time that we deliver on the hag for sure. So yeah, with that being said, I think it's time that we make our return over to the Mushroom Kingdom for sure, as we talk about the latest movie that just came out not too long ago for sure, which is none other than the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So yeah, that is pretty much what we're going to be talking about here today. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but it's also the sequel to, of course, the smash hit film from 2023, which is, of course, the Super Mario Brothers movie, or as I like to call it, Nintendo and Illumination's Super Mario Brothers movie. And I'm only saying that just to avoid any confusion from the Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993, which was amazingly bad, pretty much as I've actually said, of course, on my video on it for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, I guess before I go on to, of course, today's movie, I think I might as well give you guys pretty much a little something that I can give beforehand for sure. Now, of course, I guess it is no big surprise that a lot like everyone else, when it comes to some well-known video games that are done by Nintendo, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that Mario is indeed one of the most recognizable for sure. And who doesn't? Hands down, we all know the video games, we collecting all the merchandise for sure, and quite a whole lot more of that we associate to, of course, the ever-popular Italian plumber for sure, who, of course, ends up in the Mushroom Kingdom and goes to rescue the princess from the King of the Koopas. Which I think is probably the best way to put it, hands down, So yeah, I guess there's no doubt in my mind that for quite some time, Mario has actually been a massive staple for quite some time now for sure, and it still is ongoing nowadays with each and every single new game being made on every single Nintendo console for sure, going all the way from the pretty much the original Nintendo, the Nintendo Entertainment System, to where we are right now with the very recent Nintendo Switch 2, so yeah, that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. And to, of course, I give you guys a little recap, of course, the pretty much the movie that came out before this one. Now, if you may recall, a few years ago, I actually did talk about the first Super Mario Brothers movie that Nintendo and Illumination worked on for sure, and to me, yeah, I actually do think it's actually a pretty good movie for sure. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I really don't think it's anything that great by far, and it does have several issues I actually have with it for sure. And, of course, most notably, I was a little turned off on the idea of Chris Pratt playing Mario for sure. But I do think it is actually a pretty good movie in my opinion, and yeah, I think it did deliver on, of course, what it needs to do as a movie, while still keeping the love and spirit of the original video games, let alone the entire Mario franchise, alive for sure. So yeah, it's not by all means perfect for what it is, but I definitely do think it is actually a pretty good movie in my opinion for sure. Even if pretty much critics have actually were not very kind with, of course, this one for sure. But you kind of get the idea on what exactly I mean by that for sure. So, of course, when I heard the news that they were going to be doing a sequel to pretty much that same movie for sure, I actually got myself excited and see where they're going to go with, of course, this one. And upon hearing the news that they're actually going to do it loosely based around one of the most recognizable games in the Mario franchise for sure, which is Super Mario Galaxy, that actually got me hyped up even more because, yeah, truth be told, I actually did have pretty much really great memories of Super Mario Galaxy, as it is actually a really great game for sure. Alongside its sequel that sadly I never played, but I did hear great things about it for sure, So yeah, that alone I think is actually really quite clever to actually loosely doing entire sequel to the Mario movie for sure. And it does make sense of how Super Mario Galaxy as a whole is actually one of the most well-known and one of the best games ever made on one of Nintendo's well-known consoles back then, which is of course the Wii. So yeah. And I'm pretty sure me, alongside everyone else, really does have a strong love for, of course, Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii for sure. And again, it does kind of make sense of how not too long ago, pretty much both Mario Galaxy games were re-released onto the Nintendo Switch as early hype before this movie came around for sure. So yeah. So that alone is, of course, the perfect, pretty much, the perfect thing for, of course, this sequel for sure. So I was actually quite excited to see on how it's going to go for sure. And, of course, to be fair, I have been fully aware that critical reception right now has been probably less kinder compared to its predecessor as of now, but as a longtime Nintendo and Mario fan for sure, I still want to give it a fair shot and see if it'll actually be well worth it, hands down, So yeah, of course I managed to get myself in just in the nick of time to officially go and see this movie for myself, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas as always, So yeah, and of course now that I just got back from, of course, seeing it not too long ago, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, honestly, I think from what I can gather, yeah, I guess my reaction to this movie is kind of like how I felt about pretty much the first film for sure. I actually do like it, hands down. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can put it. Yeah, I think pretty much with everything that I've actually said as a whole, I don't hate this movie. I don't even dislike it. Yeah, I think it's good and actually gave me a good time for sure. Is it by all means great? No, not particularly, as of course I do have like maybe one, okay, I think maybe like several issues I actually have with it for sure. But as a whole, I actually do like this movie for what it is, and yeah, it's not by all means great, but I do think it's a good movie nonetheless, So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and yeah, I think given to what I mentioned earlier with this being loosely based around Super Mario Galaxy, and I did say loosely, hands down, not directly, just loosely, hands down. Yeah, I really do think the story in this movie is actually structured out pretty good, hands down. Like, yeah, they really have the basis that they actually need to actually make a pretty solid follow-up to the first film, hands down. And yeah, I really do think they flowed out everything on what he needs to do, and of course, took some creative elements at the same time to really try to do something creative with it, hands down. And again, see how they really want to take the basics from Super Mario Galaxy. Yeah, honestly, I do kind of felt they could have done a whole lot more to it, but I think they laid out the basis for that just fine, and I did actually mention that last part because, yeah, for while I do like what they actually did with the story, hands down, most of the other stuff that they actually did pretty much around it for, like, say, multiple subplots that they actually did, Yeah, I will have to say, it does kind of get way too bumpy from what I can gather, and some of the stuff they've actually added in on top of the basis they got for, of course, this movie just kind of almost feels a little jumbled and just kind of pretty much makes the film, well, go all over the place, hands down. It's almost like, pretty much, you take, like, a really nice, large, antique jar that is actually really creative, but if you try to pretty much add in some stuff the best you can, it just kind of doesn't turn out the way you thought it was going to be, hands down, for sure. I mean, it actually does look good, but does kind of feel a little broken at the same time with, of course, most of the stuff they're adding in that just, well, almost kind of feels like a little something that's made for, like, say, a different project, hands down, So yeah, but either way, it's not bad per se. I just kind of felt they could have done a whole lot more to really try to keep it all the more focus, hands down, and maybe leave some stuff pretty much for their own separate movie, hands down, but might still have slight connections to, of course, pretty much the ones we're getting currently for sure. Not a whole lot, but just only slight, hands down, So yeah, but that's at least what I can say for the story for, of course, this movie. Now, as for the writing, I have to say, well, again, like with what I thought of the story for sure, yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, I do felt some parts in this movie were probably crafting out very disjointly from what I can gather, and I think they could have maybe reworked it a little better to try to pretty much make it all the more great. But I guess as a whole, I do think it is crafting out pretty good. I'm not gonna lie for sure, and I really do think they really have a lot to work with to really try their best to make it look good for sure. So yeah, that's at least what I can say for the writing for, of course, this movie for sure. So yeah, and of course for a few bits of comedy they actually added in. Well, I think I'll give it credit. I think some of the jokes from what I can gather are actually very well done and actually did get a good laugh out of me, but other times I just kind of felt they really could have reworked it a little better to actually make it all the more funny for sure. At least that's what I can say, of course, that front. I mean, look at pretty much what I thought of the last movie that I talked about, Project Hail Mary. It does have a lot of really funny stuff that got me laughing in my seat for sure. So yeah, if I think this movie would have done pretty much done its humor like that, pretty much like with what we got in Project Hail Mary, I think it would be pretty much done a whole lot better for sure, but again, some of the pretty much a few gags and jokes they actually did throw into it. So yeah, some of them did chuckle, did make me chuckle and did give me a good laugh for sure, but not all of it hands down. So yeah. So that's at least what I can say for the story, the writing, and the comedy for sure. Yeah, it does have, like, several issues that I actually have with it that did kind of prevent it from being all the more great, hands down. But I really do think they did do a good enough job as pretty much as a whole to really try to make it the best that they can for sure. And I think they did the job fine, so yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that. Alrighty then, well. So yeah, now that we actually got those out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about for sure, to which next up is, of course, the characters. And yeah. Honestly, I think from what I can gather, I really do think the characters in this movie, I really do think they're given such a pretty good development, I'm not gonna lie, to actually try their best to make them likable and interesting for sure. And I really do think they really did a nice job with almost each and every single one of them for sure. Like of course, we still got the characters from the first film who was actually grown and evolved since the last time we've actually seen them for sure. And of course, some of the new ones we actually got, and of course, this one for sure, I really do think are actually really good additions from what I've actually seen. I mean, yeah, I think there are some characters that we actually do see pop up, and then like a few seconds later, and they're gone. Just like that. Yeah, I think, again, maybe I think they could have done a whole lot more so that way we can actually see more of these characters for sure. But literally from what I've actually seen, it just goes by so fast that it's kind of hard to make it out for sure. But again, the characters we actually got in this one are actually really great for sure. We still got to know some of the old characters for sure and see how much they've grown since the last time for sure. And of course, some of the new ones we actually got are actually good additions to really expand on, of course, what we actually got for sure. So yeah, that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. Now, as for the actors that came on board to play all these characters, yeah, I will have to say, I really do think pretty much each and every single one of them, I definitely do think actually gave off some pretty good performances that I do think actually do work quite well for sure. I mean, yeah, I think we still got Chris Pratt as Mario, to which still kind of feels pretty much off to me, kind of like how I felt pretty much in the last film for sure. But some of the other ones we've still know of since the last film, like, of course, Charlie Day as Luigi, Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Jack Black as Bowser, and that's just to name me a few. I still think actually gave off pretty good performances and really actually did deliver, of course, what they had to do pretty much as their characters for sure. So I'll give credit to them for giving off some good performances for sure. And of course, some of the new ones that we actually got for sure, I really do think are actually quite great additions for sure. Like, of course, Brie Larson as Rosalina, I definitely do think it's actually not that bad for sure. I definitely do think she really has a lot to work with given to the material, but I think she did a bang-up job for sure. And of course, pretty much of anything, another great addition is, of course, Yoshi, who in this movie is, of course, played by Donald Glover. And, well, I think to best describe Donald Glover as Yoshi in this movie, well, you know of how pretty much in the Guardians of the Galaxy films, we actually pretty much have Vin Diesel as Groot for sure, and all he ever says dialogue-wise is, "I am Groot." That's pretty much the best way I can describe Donald Glover as Yoshi for sure. It's basically their equivalent of Vin Diesel as Groot in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But it's not all bad per se for sure, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front for sure. But yeah, those are, of course, the two pretty much new additions we actually got in, of course, this movie. I'm sure there's a whole lot more, but I don't want to go into too much depth on them for sure, as, of course, it'll be spoilers, so yeah. But that's at least what I can say, of course, that front, so yeah. So either way, despite a few faults here and there, yeah, pretty much of anything, I do think the characters are still likable and interesting, and of course have grown since the last one for sure, and even even giving us such really good development that I still think actually works. And of course, pretty much the actors that came on board to play all these characters, I still think they gave off some pretty good performances that I really do love and admire for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty. Alrighty then, well, now that I've actually got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Well, quite a whole lot, actually, so So yeah, and of course, seeing how this is pretty much a movie done by Illumination for sure, I think I should definitely talk about pretty much one aspect for an anime feature film, and that being, of course, the animation. And yeah, I do stand by my point with what I said in the last film for sure. I definitely do think the animation in this film is absolutely amazing for sure. Literally from, of course, what I'm actually seeing on screen, they really did a bang-up job with the animation for sure, with, of course, the way the characters look, to, of course, the incredible backgrounds and stuff they've actually put together for sure. Yeah, it is actually very impressive to me to make you feel like you've stepped into the world of course, the Mario games for sure. And even pretty much really expand upon some of the really great world building that they actually did, that we, of course, might have seen briefly in, of course, pretty much the last film for sure, but I really do think it is best to go beyond with, of course, what we actually got in the last film to see where it go from there. And I really do think they really did a bang-up job, of course, on that front for sure. So yeah, and not to mention the production design to go alongside the animation and the world building for sure. I definitely do think it is actually spot on, hands down. Not only with, of course, the pretty much the way pretty much everything is designed down, put together, again, with what I mentioned earlier with the characters and the backgrounds for sure, but also the really great amount of visuals and effects that actually blend in perfectly pretty much with what we actually got in this film for sure. That really got me hooked on with, of course, what we're actually in for sure. So yeah, that alone I really do think is actually very impressively well done for sure. And yeah, and I know that's saying a whole lot because we do know gameplay makes a video game, not graphics. And I do know story and characters pretty much make a movie and not pretty much CGI for sure. I mean, if I guess if that being the case for the latter, then I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would probably think Jurassic Park and Terminator 2 very differently for sure. But I digress. So yeah, but I guess if anything, despite several flaws I actually spotted earlier, I definitely do think everything that I've actually said regarding the animation and the production design definitely does find a way to help save the flick a big for sure. Well, not a whole lot, but only a big hands down. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. And of course, the direction in this film from the film's directors. Yeah, I definitely do think it's still good in my opinion, and I can tell there is a bit of effort being put into, of course, this one for sure. And yeah, I don't really think it's actually pretty much on par with pretty much the last film for sure, but I definitely do think it is still done pretty good regardless for sure. So yeah, and of course the cinematography in this film, I definitely do think it's actually really great, with some really great camera shots that they actually did to go alongside everything that I've actually mentioned earlier. And I really do think it is actually really quite nice for sure to really make this movie look great, hands down. And again, it actually does that for a bit, but I don't mind that nonetheless. So yeah, and of course the editing, I have to say, well, I guess I will admit it is cut up fine from what I can gather for sure. It's not by all means fantastic from what I've actually seen, but I definitely do think it is actually good for what I've actually seen, and I think they did some decent cuts that actually do work out quite well for sure, and maybe I think there are some that could have been fixed up a little bit more for sure, but they did try pretty much in some aspects, and of course pretty much it actually goes along quite fine with the film's pacing, to which, I think like with what I mentioned with the story and the writing from earlier for sure. I guess pretty much of anything. For what I do think the pacing in this film is actually pretty much pretty good for sure. It does actually pretty much hit some bullet points that, again, just kind of makes this movie, well, go all over the place from what I can gather for sure. So yeah, but then again, it's not by all means bad per se. I think they could have done a whole lot better with it for sure, but I think they did a bang-up job nonetheless. And of course, another thing that I should mention for sure is, of course, all the cameos and Easter eggs from other Nintendo properties, hands down. Well, I think I will definitely say some of them are actually pretty good, hands down, and yeah, they are actually really quite nice to actually look at and actually fit in well with what goes on for sure. While some of the other ones that we actually got, again, I think they could have been done a whole lot better, as they only show up for maybe only a few seconds from what I've actually seen. Almost like they just recently popped up. I think pretty much they actually start popping up at first, and I look at it and be like, oh, okay, didn't see that. I wonder where they're gonna go with, of course, this one. And then a few seconds later, and they're gone. Just like that, so yeah, maybe I think they could have done a whole lot better to really try to make it work all the way, because, they were going somewhere with, of course, this, they were definitely going somewhere with it for sure, but I think with them coming and going so fast for sure, it just kind of pretty much leaves off some missed opportunities from what I've actually seen, so yeah. But like I said, some of the cameos and Easter eggs from other Nintendo properties for sure, some of them are actually pretty good, and I really do like what they actually did with them for sure, so it's not by all means awful for sure, so yeah. And of course, pretty much moreover, I also really do like pretty much the way they actually try to do some stuff to really actually pay homage and of course have the look and the feel of course the games for sure. Almost like pretty much you're actually watching on screen and you're thinking to yourself, oh yeah, that's actually very nicely done. Almost kind of looks like pretty much what we saw in the original games. Again, I won't give away what actually happens for sure. You'll definitely know the ones I'm actually talking about for sure, so yeah, I guess I give it to all those that I've actually mentioned. I think it would pretty much get you the idea, of course, what I thought of this movie as a whole, so yeah. That's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole, so yeah, overall, I guess despite several issues that I actually have with it that did kind of preventing this from being a great time for sure, I will say the Super Mario Galaxy movie is definitely a good enough movie that I think they could have done a whole lot better with what we actually were hoping for, hands down, but did deliver on a pretty good enough and pretty solid movie that I definitely do think is actually worth pretty much an hour and a half of your time for sure, so yeah, I really do like with what they actually did to really try to continue on with, of course, what we got in the last film for sure, and actually try their best to really expand upon pretty much what was given to us for sure, and yeah, I think in some areas they actually did accomplish that quite well. While for a few little bits of it that remains, some of them are actually pretty decent, but other times just kind of actually derails the flick a bit and just pretty much leaves me a big a little bit confused, pretty much in some stuff that just goes nowhere, to be honest. So yeah, but they did do the best that they can to try to give us a good time, and I dig just that for sure, but not fully from what I can gather. So yeah, but of course, regardless of course all that, I don't hate this movie nonetheless for sure. And yeah, I think with what I mentioned earlier, yeah, it does have several pretty much flaws and issues that I've already pointed out from what I've actually seen. But the rest, I do have to say, is actually pretty good, and I really do think they did the best they can to give us a good time, and I think they did accomplish that regardless, hands down. So yeah, I guess either way, I know hands down that a lot of people, including myself, will probably make the same argument for, of course, the first film that we actually got. But at least they actually did want to keep the focus on mainly just pretty much just Super Mario Brothers as a whole, and try to make it work well, pretty much on its own movie-wise, and I think they did a bang-up job on that. So yeah, at least that's what I could say pretty much on that front for sure. So if that being the case for the first film for sure, I can definitely say make the same argument for, of course, the second film for sure. So yeah, is it by all means great? Not particularly, but I can't say it's neither decent nor awful at the same time. I definitely do like it nonetheless, and as someone who has been a long-time Mario, let alone a long-time Nintendo fan for quite some time now for sure, I definitely do think this movie is worth the watch for sure. So yeah, I guess regardless of course all that, I do still like it for sure, and I do still recommend it all the way. You're definitely not going to get a whole lot with, of course, this one, but you are definitely going to get something that is definitely pretty much a good enough time for sure. So if that's something you're actually looking in for, that you're actually looking into, hands down, then, well, pretty much get your pretty much mushroom power up, and of course fly on in to the nearest galaxy to see this movie for yourself. So yeah, that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, for my final score, yeah, I'm being fair of course on this one, and I'll give it a 7 out of 10 as my final score. Like I said, I can't necessarily say it's by all means a great movie for what it is, but I definitely do think it is actually a good enough movie nonetheless, hands down, and well, I think given to what we actually got with, of course, this film, I wouldn't be surprised if of course, Nintendo and Illumination are pretty much, of course, laying everything out for a full-on Nintendo cinematic universe as we speak. And if that being the case, then I think we better get that Super Smash Brothers movie pretty much sooner rather than later, because holy crap, with what we've actually seen in this movie, maybe they might have already laid the groundwork for that for sure. And I know I'm definitely up for seeing more of those hands down. So yeah, but either way, that's what I can say for my thoughts on this movie as a whole, and it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so I guess on that thought alone, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest video, and by all means, I want to ask all of you guys, what do you think of the Super Mario Galaxy movie if you've actually seen it? Do you absolutely really liked it and think it's a really good enough time despite several flaws like I just did for sure, or do you absolutely hate it and think it's an absolute waste of time for sure? Or are you somewhere in between where you think it's just okay for what it is? So yeah, let me know down in the comments down below on what you thought of this movie as a whole. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say in a nutshell for sure. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and well, I think I've got a lot to do before I'll talk about the next movie in my thoughts videos for sure. So And you know, I think I'm starting to ponder on the idea of a Nintendo Cinematic Universe. You know, I think while I pretty much think long and hard on, of course, what I'll talk about in the next Thoughts video, I've got a lot of thinking of the idea of course, pretty much a Nintendo Cinematic Universe. So I'll definitely leave you at that. So I guess until what I'll talk about in the next Thoughts video, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Yeah, a Nintendo Cinematic Universe could be a possibility. And if that be the case, I wonder if they're going to do anything with that Legend of Zelda movie we're going to be getting next year. That I'm beginning to ponder myself.
Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD and Sam Shepard. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.